towards all the past teachers and all the people who have contributed so well to the Anglican High School. Okay, the main purpose of the evening in many ways was for us to introduce you to the 100th project. What is the 100th project? Michelle is the architect, and we had the vision of making our campus a campus, a state-of-the-art campus, a campus that will take us into the 21st century with some better facilities, a higher level of offering to the girls, and inevitably turn out students who are more well-balanced and more grounded for the entire idea of becoming an adult, rather than just, you know, what was been our history, get a few academic C's, and that's gone now. The world is different. We can't do that anymore. The campus is not accessible completely around. When it's raining, the bottom school is locked off. You cannot get to the bottom school. That's one thing that draws to our attention. And we want to enhance the whole area, add some more classrooms. We did a survey at one time, and the students are more interested in different aspects of education. They want to do designing rather than just technical drawing and architecture, some more. The bottom line is that we have to put some more arts into the school education. It's too academic at the moment, so we need some more rooms for that. We need to teach music. We need to have more involvement in agriculture and all the different aspects which can make you a more well-balanced student. So with those things in mind, we drew up, well, Michelle did all the drawings ups, and I'll work with her at the moment to sort of present that to you and how we hope to accomplish that. We really want to accomplish that by 2016. Again, I take the moment to reinforce to you that we need the support of the past pupils here and overseas to raise the funds to get this accomplished. This is a few $1 million project, as you will see in a while, and it's hard work. And we endeavor to do that, and we want your support, your enthusiasm, your blessings, and every other thing that you can offer. Michelle?
Good evening, all. As Sonia said, we had been hard at work, and Archdeaconess were trying to come up with something that will help Anglican High School to be a better learning environment and a better environment for social development. The scheme that I'm going to present here is basically a conceptual master plan that needs to be developed further, but it is a starting point in which we can start asking our past pupils and well-wishers at Anglican High School for their support. As you know, Anglican High School is on a very small piece of land, and the space is very cramped. It's like Anglican High School is like a balloon. It's gaining a lot of air, and it has no space to go. And we have to try to create as much space. And the people that are demanding the space, we're not seeing a lot forthcoming from them to give us more space. So we have to make as much of the space that we have. And when we reach the limit, well, we just can't go anymore. So these images are images of the school buildings dispositioned on the site as it exists today, with the additions that have been added post Hurricane Ivan. As you can see, not much of the site is left for further development. What the committee has done is to review the items, the general areas that are in need of development in the school. And we've found 3 areas. One, there's need for instructional accommodation. There's need for accommodation for recreation and social activities. And there is a need to improve the access and circulation around the buildings. For the instructional accommodation, we have identified 2 buildings that we can add to the site without overcrowding the site. One building would house approximately 8 instructional spaces, hopefully, and a games room, a room for the custodians, and a workshop for them. The second building shall house instructional spaces and hopefully a shower and locker room for the students close to the flat. We've identified these 2 buildings that are in white there, actually to position them on the southeast portion of the property. The first building, which is on the further right, we hope to accomplish that by the 100th anniversary. The second building, which is on the lower side, we hope to be able to add that at a further date. The first building, Building 1, will be positioned loosely parallel to Lowther's Lane, sort of creating a shelter environment for the open spaces between the 2 buildings, the upper building, which is the administration and the upper block, and what is now the laboratory block and classrooms. And the second building will then fill in where we familiarly call the fall coop. So these are images of the disposition of what the first building can be like. However, as a conceptual design, it is just to show how the volume would fill the space and start looking at what sort of accommodations can be had. One of the intentions of the committee is to see how we can provide continuous circulation around the school without teachers having to be exposed to the weather so that they can get to classes in disparate parts of the school. So what we intend to do is to put a stairwell or a stair tower covered. I have it uncovered so you can get a better appreciation of it. That will link all the buildings together so that the teachers and the students can get sheltered access all around. The second building would sit in the position, as I said, where the now wooden structure is. The structure, as you can see, that is in the sort of a mustard color, will have to be removed. It's really in a condition that is not to be used presently. Also, we are recommending that the building that is closest to the driveway, we take off the top level because it impedes the principal's supervision of activities on the flat. So now that we're putting back or adding instructional spaces, we could afford to sacrifice a couple instructional spaces for overall general supervision. The second building, which is to be added after the 100th anniversary, will give its back to the tennis court, but it has an opportunity that can be opened so that we can allow cross ventilation. The buildings are not all joined together hard because we want to allow as maximum breezes to circulate around all of the blocks so that it adds to the comfortable environment of the students. This is a view of the 2 new buildings from the Tantine Road side. That gives you a sort of idea of how it will add to the current stock of buildings there. In recreational and social accommodation, we've identified 4 areas that can be enhanced. First, we need to rehabilitate the amphitheater. We need to enhance the flat. The flat currently is in a state of, nobody can really use it except the contractors. We need to create a sort of an outdoor cafe, dining, study area. And we're going to create a sort of a hard surface, multi-level terrace area. The first thing is the amphitheater. There is a building which was funded, I believe, by the PTA, which sits right now in the amphitheater, which is really not under productive use. We recommend that that building be removed and add back in an enhanced manner the amphitheater that is much more friendly for usage. Add a stage and hopefully in the future add a roof over the stage and proper lighting. The amphitheater also forms a sort of a nice outdoor sitting area because the now 2 galleries that are in the top building can form proper viewing galleries for activities in the theater. The second area is the flat. Now, we propose to lift the level of the flat. Right now, the flat has actually gained the name Mudflares Flat, as most people who went to tea and fair in November in certain years, and that is unacceptable. We intend to lift the flat, put proper drainage, and create a better play area for the students. In addition, not shown here, we intend to add spectator seating that is open and lightweight, that the students can better enjoy the activities. Some of the seating will be built and some of it will be carved into the hillside. We also intend to create or establish the incinerator as a monument, as Gloria would tell us. It is the incinerator, the first incinerator that served the town of St. George. So we want to establish that as a monument, and we'll be moving the garbage receptacle closer to the gate and away from everybody. I'd like to point out that the enhancement of the flat will go well with a project that the Willie Redhead Foundation have to conserve and enhance the streetscape of Anglican High School, particularly with regards to the mahogany trees. The other two areas are the areas between the three buildings, from the principal administration building to the laboratory building to the new block. We intend to fill these areas not just as grassy slopes, but to convert them into the first one at the top into a sort of cafe, so the students who are using the tuck shops and hopefully a games room that we can locate there can have a sort of spill-out space to sit, dine, read in the open, chat, and whatever. It's a space to foster socialization amongst the students. The second area, we hope it's between the middle building and the lower building, that I envisage can turn into a sort of a hard surface courtyard that the students of the lower building and at the further end can use it as spill-off space, but also it can foster more small activities between classes and between groups. The third general area of concern and that needs treatment is the access and circulation. One, we intend to create an open-ended cul-de-sac at the top entrance, create some genuine parking spaces, and to establish a one-way loop road that will take you from the top entrance down to the bottom. So this is generally the idea of what we intend. All the gray area to the top is what we will be looking at enhancing. It is a challenge because the area of the building that you see at the top left-hand corner is really close to our boundaries. Therefore, we need to make friends with the government and ask them to give us some land where the signal lights for the Ports Authority stand so we can get a little bit of access there. We intend to put in an open-ended cul-de-sac that allows people to freely move in and out of the top entrance. And that cul-de-sac the road will be approximately 18 feet wide, which would allow people to park on the side and still allow a vehicle to pass around without any interruption. We also intend to create behind the top block a small roadway, 12 feet wide, and parking for the staff. Now, the parking there would not be a lot, and I envisage that at some point in time, we would have to sacrifice at least 20 feet of the depth of the flat below for additional parking. So you can see that area at the bottom right is where we have the most constraints. But having decided to move the septic tank from that corner to the lower flat, we now have a little bit of space to play with. Now, one of the concerns is the slope of the land that descends behind there. It is very steep. But as we know in Grenada, we are not afraid of steep land, and we've been building driveways that are going up to heaven. So I have no fear that that can be accomplished. If it can't, I'm quite sure Mr. Woodruff will tell me. So this is basically in a short synopsis of what we envisage for high school. It is the intention of the committee to engage a team of architectural designers that will be headed by myself. I will, at that point in time, cease to be a member of the committee. But I'd like to say right now that the architectural designers that will be engaged by the committee are all graduates of Anglican high schools. Anglican High School has produced the most female architects in Grenada, and for that we must be proud. So I am saying at this point, and I'm saying to everybody, that we have our first project for the 100th anniversary is to build Building 1. Building 1 is 10,000 square feet of space. Let me give you a comparison. The buildings that were completed in the second phase of the post-Ivan recovery, that is the top of the top block, the laboratories, the principal's extension is approximately 16,000 square feet. And I'll give you a little bit of figure. That has been disclosed as funded by government funding to be $5 million. At government rates, special contractors. If we are to accomplish the one building that is 10,000 square feet, that is a building along the Loaders Lane, we are looking to raise, not by the 100th anniversary because we want it completed by then, we are looking to raise in approximately 2.5 years, approximately at today's rate, $4.5 million. It means that everybody must dig deep if we want to see this accomplished. It is not to say that that building cannot be built in phases, but it is the target that we have set ourselves. On this note, I ask you to support our project because it means the future of the Anglican High School. And we know that this project is not, this is an infrastructural development, but this project will be hinged on a programmatic development for the delivery of education and the social development of the young lady of Grenada. And thank you very much.
Can we have the lights now, please? Thank you so much, Michelle. So here we have it. That's the plan, and it's going to take a while and a lot of effort, and we hope that... Can I hear it if we have your support on this? Can I hear it? That's kind of meager. Okay, thank you so much. So this is where we're at. We celebrated today, and we're almost at the close of the ceremony, and we would like to tell you a few things. There was a lady who did all the work for this. She worked hard, and she worked effortlessly, and with a lot of dedication, and with lots of joy and enthusiasm and fun. And she worked very hard, and we love her, and we quarrel, and we fix that, and we don't quarrel, and then we fix that again, and we just have to do what she says, etc., etc. So we want to thank her for organizing this, working hard. We were all members of the committee, but she took this on with full speed, full force, full enthusiasm, a lot of dedication, and a lot of joy. And it was a pleasure working with you. Karen Charles, come here, please. I think we got her. She didn't know. We got her. We got her. We got her. And she's blushing. Thank you so much, Karen. We do appreciate your efforts. And another kiss from Canon. And one from me too. So we'll ask Karen at this moment in time to come with a beautiful bouquet and give us the vote of thanks. And thank you for being such wonderful, patient people.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I wanted to call each of you by name tonight to say my thanks. I really wanted to. But when I saw the list, 144 names, and then we had some more added at the door, I can't at this point, I haven't had dessert yet, to thank each of you. So you will know from the bottom of my heart and the rest of the committee that we thank each of you for taking the time out this afternoon to come to the service, which was beautiful, and to be here tonight for dinner. I want to thank Archdeacon Glasgow for rising to the occasion when we asked him to have this celebration, and for giving us such a beautiful service this afternoon, together with the dear Father Henderson Guy. Thank you very much for that inspirational address. At one point, I wondered if I was still in the church. And ably assisted also by Mrs. Eleanor Glasgow, Reverend Eleanor Glasgow. Thank you very much. Father Michael Marshall and his wife, they didn't join us for dinner, no? Oh, they were there also, so I want to thank them for having graced us with their presence. And the readers, I know one was Carleen Bowen, who is the president of the Past Pupils Association. Oh, and Ray Goddard, Ray is with us. Is Ray still here? Thank you, Ray, for doing the readings. Past pupils, they're doing very well in it. Now, I want to tell you of your contribution tonight. You've just heard a presentation, and I think it's the first time you're hearing it, so it sounds big, but it's not really big. Because a few years ago, Miss Batiste simply said to Sonia Johnson, Tessa Copeland, and I think Dottie Gittins, that if every past pupil gave $10, we will raise 10 million. And after 95 years, I don't think that is hard to do if we got every high school girl. But tonight, each of you has given $25 to start that project. $25 came from your contribution to dinner, and we want to thank each one of you for doing so. Just checking my notes to make sure that I don't leave anybody out. Trish Bethany wrote the music to the Anglican High School song, and I would like to close with it tonight. Trish, could you stand so those of them who do not know you know that you wrote that music? Trish also conducted the choir, and I want us to give the choir a round of applause. They were very good. Here's the challenge. Archdeacon, should I say? Yes, Archdeacon has given me the permission. The challenge is every year till the 2016, we're going to have a choir recital. Every year. Okay, Valerie, you there? Valerie, they have a lot of musicians in the past pupils, so round them up. Right. Now, last but not least, did everybody enjoy the food? Is Alison Dolan here? Is Alison George here? Oh, she's not here. On behalf of the Anglican High School, we want to extend our thanks to the host and hostess for this evening, Mr. and Mrs. Hugh Dolan. They said they weren't going to be sitting, but they will be here, but I'm not seeing them. And their very capable staff. In particular, there's a young lady who has, I think, two sisters who went to Anglican High School, and she works here. She's the event planner, but she did not go to Anglican High School. I don't know why. Her name is Janine Johnson. Is Miss Johnson here? Hiding in the wings. Mrs. Johnson, come forward. She was a Vivek. So those who know Miss Vivek will know that Miss Johnson is her sister. They had the same height. Thank you very much.